And buffering, and we are live.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Dan. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bob with One Stop Mouse. And today on our live stream interview, we don't really have a name for it yet. We've just been doing it for the past few Wednesdays at 7 p.m. There's a very lively, positive character that has been sort of at the edge of my universe and who knows people that I know. And it's this guy, as I point over to the next screen, like in a Brady Bunch way. And it's Disney Dan. Welcome, Disney Dan.
Well, thank you so much for having me. When you messaged me like you wanted me to come on the show, I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like I'm really excited. I'm honored to.
Very cool.
I listened to Walt's last week and
Right.
and obviously Walt and I are really good friends, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to give this a go. So yeah, this is gonna be fun.
That's great. That's great. Well, all right. So first thing I try to do, is I ask people. Well, obviously, you are from the which country?
Well, I'm from the United Kingdom, more specifically England. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. And before COVID, it's been a
Yeah.
little while. I know before because of COVID and for a lot of people. When's the last time you were at Disney World?
Yeah, so last time I was there was August, September of 2019, so last year.
Okay.
That felt like a long time ago, though it also felt like yesterday. So with everything going on in the world, it feels like I was just there, but it's been over a year now. So
Wow.
yeah, time flies.
It really does. I mean, think of all the time that went by since all this started. It's like, oh my goodness.
Just get me back there.
So is it primarily Disney World you go to, or do you like hit Paris and hit Disneyland, or?
Yeah, so Disneyland Paris, I haven't been since I was a kid. I think around since I was 7. I don't remember much. All I remember was staying at the hotel and running around with like a Peter Pan dagger and just like, and that was it. But I haven't been to Disneyland in Anaheim. But Walt Disney World is my home park. It will always be my home park, and I love it to bits. So yeah, that's my home right there.
Except for, I think the same thing, but except for a few attractions at Shanghai, like, the videos you see of Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that I just am dying to see. Disney World, just obviously it's a world. So
yeah, it's just incredible. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world.
No. And they're doing such a great. I was streaming from Epcot yesterday, from Taste of Epcot, and the safety procedures that they go through, and you better wear your mask. Anybody wants to see what happens when you don't wear your mask? Look at that crazy guy who they had to get out of the park. Just wear, and over your nose too. I mean.
You know what? Disney do a fantastic job. You look at theme parks here in the UK, and there ain't no rules. You walk in, you wear your mask, and then you walk around the park, and then as soon as you get in line to ride a roller coaster, they just take it off and don't care. And I'm just like, yep, I am not going to go there anytime soon. So,
oh my gosh. Okay, so I know about your channel. You know about your channel, and a lot of people know about your channel. Congratulations on being at the cusp of 2,000 subscribers. Yeah. I looked a few minutes ago. It was at like 1,009.4.
Yeah,
that's really great. Could you give us an overview of your channel, sort of like when it started, what the timeline is? I know you have got a couple of shows, like, you do the movie reviews, you have Fiasco, and you just had an anniversary for Fiasco, right? Like 2-year anniversary?
Did. Yeah, so
give us an overview of that whole empire of Disney Dan.
How long have you got? Well,
as long as you want.
So I started my YouTube channel in 2009. And my first video actually has nothing to do with Disney. It was me filming a Green Day concert. Green Day is my favorite band of all time, and and I was just filming one of those. And I put it. You can still go find it. Like you put.
I was going to say, is it on your channel now?
Yeah, it's still there.
I'm gonna watch that as soon as I
You
go.
are going to have a headache when you watch it because it's bouncy. I'm right in the mosh pit, and I'm like bouncing with a camera in my right hand. Like it's awful. But you know, I put it up there just to remember the memories. But I really started my channel 5 years ago, believe it or not, because I wanted to document when I was a cast member in 2016. And obviously, I'm assuming we'll get to that at some point. But for me, my channel was all about not just Disney, but bringing that sort of happiness and joy and always having a smile on my face and making people laugh. And that's always been kind of like the thing I've always been into. So that's kind of where I've gone from there. And then did my cast member days, and I vlogged. I think I have about over 30 vlogs from my cast member days over the 3 months, which is fantastic. So I can go back and look. And then every year I'll go back to Disney and do more vlogs and just remember those times when I was in the parks. And then in between that, I started a show called Disney Fiasco, which is every Saturday, 7 p.m. That's my flagship show. And that's where it started off with me and Corey Fiasco. And Corey Fiasco, if you know him, he's actually on the Diz. But actually, he was with me before then. And then Meg from Mickey's Magic joined us as well. And then Corey went off and moved on, and Meg and I still do the show together. But I've been doing the show now for over 2 years, which is incredible. I still try and struggle to find a topic every single week that I haven't done already. But and then Walt and I started our Disney movie review, which is every Sunday at 6 p.m., which we alternate on channels where we choose a random movie from Disney Plus and we really go in depth and review it. And then so that's fun. And then in the meantime, I do other collaborations. I do a collaboration with Gonzo, The Adventures of Gonzo, where we do Disney Nuts, which is kind of like a trivia game. And then I do Disney Food Fridays, which is kind of like my love of food. And then I'm also on Pub Talk, which is Rob Fuzz's kind of big show he does on Fridays. So I'm very busy in terms of YouTube. And,
I know. You seem like a very busy man. I don't know if you remember, but after I messaged you and asked you if you wanted to be on, I'm like, I'm not really busy right now. I'm not working. So you're like, well, when would be a good time? I'm like, why don't we revolve it around your schedule? You seem very busy.
You know what? Look, right now it's like just gone midnight. This is the quietest it is for me. So, to be honest,
that's right. I forgot. I'm like, what time is it in the UK? It's like midnight
I should
now?
be in there fast asleep. But no, I'm right. Look, YouTube has got me to the point where night, that doesn't really matter. Like, so I stay up and good thing, well, my job, I have to be up early anyway. So that's just, I don't sleep, to be honest.
Excuse me 1 second. Let me just catch up with the chats. Hi, Disinfinity. How are you? Disney Dan. Hey, who's are you typing that? Hello, Disinfinity, or do you have somebody else typing that? I can never see.
That's me.
I'm so unaccustomed to doing this. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, so I can't be engaged. And I see Mouse Talk. Hey, Walt, how are you? What did you do as a cast member? Disinfinity is asking, because it says that like at the top of your channel.
So we were talking about this off stream, but I thought I'll tell you. So it's a funny story. So before I was working at Disney, I was actually a certified lifeguard. And actually, I was certified with the American Red Cross because I used to work in the New England area, the Massachusetts and New England and New Hampshire. So I thought it'd be a great idea. Look, I'm already qualified by the American Red Cross. It should be no problem to get to Disney as a lifeguard, no problem. So I do the Disney College program back in 2016, and I go for the lifeguard training. And if they did the American Red Cross, I wouldn't have to do the test, but they don't. Disney actually do their own lifeguard course, which is quite interesting, being that Disney do their own thing their own way. So I decided because there was going to be a swim test. So I thought, okay, I can wear goggles, so I'm going to wear contact lenses. And me being a bit of a, I don't know what word I can use, but yeah, I put the wrong prescription in my eyes. Very bad wrong prescription in my eyes, and I couldn't see really. so I didn't realize we had to take an eyesight test. So if you go to the opticians, you know when they have those board with all the letters and like Q79P4F, whatever it is. And I was looking at this board, I'm like, why can't I see this? Like, I've got my contact lenses in, and I don't. So, long story short, they were like, right, you can't see. You're not going to be a lifeguard. I'm like, great. I came all this way not to be a lifeguard. They're going to send me home. What are they going to do? So they actually put me at Disney's Contemporary Resort and Bay Lake Tower. And I started off being custodial, which was fantastic. I got to do some amazing things with guests through that. I met Chris Evans, Captain America, when I was on shift, which is
that's cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue at Bay Lake Tower. And then
I met him at Earl's Sandwich. So
yeah,
they tell me that he hangs out at Disney World all the time.
He's always there. Like, wow. It's a known fact. He's always there.
That's weird.
So then I moved on to guest relations and guest service.
Right.
And then a little bit, I was a character attendant for the Pirates Cruise. Now, the Pirates Cruise, you can go on a boat and watch. At the time, it was Wishes on Seven Seas Lagoon. But I took photos and helped Peter Pan and Captain Hook and Mr. Smee, and it was a lot of fun. And and then I just did some other things around the Contemporary. I remember washing every single window of California Grill. I'll tell you what, four and a half hours looking out that view, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I just want to clarify, I wasn't on the outside, I was on the inside.
Nice.
So it was incredible. It was it was an amazing experience. I barely slept for 3 months because if I wasn't working, I was in the parks. The only other place I went to apart from Disney was Walmart, and that was it.
Nice. That must all be a blur. All right, so Mouse Talk says 2,000 subs is right around the corner. Disinfinity, my buddy, he's been following your channel for a year and a half. Let's see. I don't know who Dan is, but he seems pretty nice. That's Walt from Mouse Talk. Alfred, me and my mom are so done with WDW cable, One Stop Mouse. Hi, Mouse. Alfred, hey, how are you? The Defiley crew I'm going to interview next week. They are very nice people. I don't know what those people don't collect. They collect baseball cards. They collect every piece of merch I've ever seen, and probably stuff that's not even for sale yet. Let's see. Dan, let Bob know which partner channel is your favorite. Yeah, I was going to mention that. Don't worry about it, Walt. Or I'll tell him, LOL. So, explore your partner channels. We know one of them is Walt at Mouse Talk.
Yeah. So
there you go, Matt. There you go. I plugged you, Walt. Okay.
So Walt is one of my partner channels. He's absolutely fantastic and very supportive and a really great friend. And I love Walt and Melissa to bits. They're like my chosen family. Like, they are just so wonderful. My other partner channel is Meg from Mickey's Magic. She's my partner channel who I've had the longest. She's just so fun to be around, and we have a lot of similar interests, and which is really great. Rob Fuzz, just because we're both crazy and we both have a good time, and he's awesome. And then the Viper Project, who I've known for a long time, and Ed and Mindy from the Viper Project are just two of the most wonderful people in the world, and they are a wonderful family. So if you haven't checked out any of those channels, please go do so, and they are just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, as the bottom little ticker says, please, if you have not done so, please subscribe to One Stop Mouse and Disney Dan, and hit those notification bell icons, because with everything that's happening in the parks lately, every other breath is a change at Disney. So there are a lot of times when, at least myself, I'm just doing some impromptu thing, standing in front of a backdrop saying, "You won't believe what just happened." So
there is no, I kid you not, every minute of the day there's something going on. So a bit of a thing that I love playing golf, right? Golf is my favorite sport. And I was out yesterday on my own having the game. I was having such a great game, and I was just waiting for my turn. and I check YouTube because that's what I do all the time. And what do I see? 5-10 videos of people reacting to the Mandalorian season 2 trailer. I'm like, dude, like, can't I just have like 2-3 hours on my own playing golf without something Disney related happening? No. Like, seriously?
The world is too quick. Social media is too quick, and Disney is even more so because oh my goodness. Well, I was in Epcot. They're still having a problem with people wearing masks, and they've changed the announcements to tell people, please put it over your nose. And but I see all the little kids wearing the masks correctly, but I see like their parents not, and I'm like, well, what do you think they're gonna? I find this whole thing such a statement about American society, and I'm not going to go there, but I'm sure people in other countries must go, what is wrong with those people? So
you think us British are very stubborn.
Yes. Well,
I'm not, but I know there are.
Well, you're a hybrid. You're a Disney
hybrid.
You're not, you're not officially British. You're a Disney hybrid.
Half my life in the States, so.
All right. So, when was your first visit to? Was it Walt Disney World?
Yeah. So, my first visit. The first visit I can remember was 2002, but my parents always tell me that I was there when I was like 8 months old or whatever it was, which you obviously cannot remember. And but my first trip that I remember was 2002. We went with some close family friends, and all I remember from that trip, I kid you not, I don't remember much. I remember riding the original test track over and over again because it was always like a 10-minute wait at the time. I remember riding Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin all the time because that, again, was also a 10-minute wait all the time, and I just wanted to shoot the aliens with Buzz Lightyear and the guns and stuff. And then staying at the Sheraton playing. Do you remember those spinning top things where you pull the cord? Those toys. I just remember being in the hotel room with my friend, just like wrecking the hotel room with those. That's all I remember from 2002. I don't remember. And I remember one of the friends, my dad convinced him to jump in the fountains over by Journey into Imagination. He had to, that wasn't good either. So that's all I remember from 2002. And
nobody got banned from the parks or anything?
No, it was very laid back by then.
That's good. Yeah. I hear tales of some big thing that happened to me at the 1964 World's Fair when I was 2 years old, but I have no memory of it. I tell everybody about it, but I shouldn't even, but it had to do with me being a 2-year-old that was so enamored with the little dolls in It's a Small World that I dove out of the boat and was in the canal and climbing up, and they had to shut the rides down. And anyway, and my parents, of course, that's funny how they do that. Oh, remember when you did that? It's like, I was 2.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't even know what you could just be making this up.
I kid you not. When I went to Disneyland Paris when I was 7, I kid you not, I don't remember anything. All I remember was running around Alice's Curious Labyrinth. They have and that's it. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything else. I could not tell you anything about my experience at Disneyland Paris.
Oh God. Hey, Faith, Hope, and Disney. How are you? Disney Dan. Hey, Jacob Robinson. Yes, Nick and I have hung out a lot. He's awesome.
Yeah, Nick from Magical News Live.
He is, and his channel's growing fast.
I've known Nick a long time.
He was when he became a local like a year ago. I swear he had like 2,000 subs, and now it's like 5,000 or something.
I remember Nick when he had about 700 subs.
And how old is Nick? Nick is real young too.
He
might be a little older than Disinfinity, maybe.
I think he was 14 when I first met him. He's now 16 now. Yeah. He's a great kid. He's
moving, and every time I go to a park, just about like every other time, he's there.
I've always said he is the future of this Disney YouTube community. He's been so inspiring at such a young age. When I first met him at 14, but when he was living in New Jersey, he was doing well just on his own, and he's very technical. He's a good kid. And as Disinfinity said in the chat, he's very close with Josh and Jenna from Resort TV 1 and Dana Jaworski, and they're practically family. So
they are. Wherever you see Josh and Jenna, you seem to see mom and dad, and it's either Nick or Arjons or both.
Yeah.
Very cool. So that's your first visit. Yeah. What's your best memory? Whenever that is, you could have been 20. What's your best memory of a Disney park?
I would say my best memory is probably something that you can relate to. I'm assuming you've had your traditions class.
Yes, I have.
And it was when Mickey came in to into the room with the name badges, and he was handing out your name badge, and got to hug him and receive my name badge, and just seeing my name underneath Walt's it made me the most proudest person on the planet, because Walt is my idol. Look, everybody loves Disney.
Yeah.
But I don't just love Disney parks or movies or music or whatever. I love Walt the man and his beliefs and philosophy. And I believe that every intention he did, everything he did was to make people happy. And that's kind of like what I want to do. And to see my name be part of his creation is something very special. And being able to go to Magic Kingdom later in the traditions class as a cast member, the first time I stepped out and saw the castle on Main Street as a cast member was the most beautiful moment I think I've ever had, because I was dying to do the college program for 13 years. It took me 13 years and 2 attempts to get on the college program. And it was a very special moment. So, yeah, that was definitely the best moment I think I've had at Disney.
There are, I mean, not right now because of COVID, but traditionally, I don't know if everybody out there knows this, but there are people that have applied for multiple jobs to Disney. I mean, they employ over 70,000 people that have waited for like 5-6 years till they get a job there.
Yeah. And
it is, like Dan was just saying, it's very, very special. And I was a cast member too. And I can tell you it wasn't even actually the badge. It wasn't the cast member badge. It was when I got the email that had a photo on the email attached that had my name and the whole thing. And it said, congratulations. And I called my wife. My wife was on a bus. And I was like, and I told my wife, and I was so thrilled. And we were FaceTiming, and the other people in the bus were clapping because I was so excited.
Yeah. I mean, I've still got on my pin board my name badge. Mm-hmm. I've got I got made a Star Tours badge with my name in the language of Star Wars. And then I've also, probably Disney will find out about this, but I've also kept my ID.
Oh, no.
But look, realistically, am I going to be going back to Disney anytime soon as a cast member? Probably not.
Look, I'm in another country. Leave me alone.
Right, I kept my ID. It's something that I know I'm going to cherish, and I see it every day, and it makes me happy. It makes me proud.
Well, talking about the Disney College program, when COVID started, they literally had to send everybody home for obvious reasons. If anybody's watching that was in the Disney College program and they're wondering if they're going back or if they're thinking about applying, I'm sure Dan can attest to how incredibly cool it is. And I wish you guys well with that college program.
Yeah, I felt very... I don't know if you saw or heard with all the cast members, the college programmers who walked down Main Street before they shut the parks.
think I saw it in a video, actually.
Yeah. So I'm not. I was very emotional because I knew that the hard work it took for me to get there, and you see these college programs from all over the world. You know, they're not just from the US; they're from everywhere, who scratched and clawed and managed to get onto the college program against thousands of other applicants, only to be sent home. Yeah. And I know how it feels to be overlooked, because I actually applied in 2015 and was put on the waiting list, and I declined. So I know how it feels, how you really strive to get what you want and work for Disney. And it was a very emotional day. And I knew loads of friends who work in the UK pavilion that, you know, only just got there. Oh. And it was just, it's very emotional. And but I hope once this all settles, that Disney do bring back the cast members from all over the world, especially in Epcot, because like you go to Epcot now and you go to all the World Showcase pavilions, that the pavilions are still there, right. But what makes it are the cast members, and that's what makes it special for me. So it was a special and emotional moment.
For some reason, every time I would go to the UK pavilion or any of the shops, if I were getting fish and chips or something, I've always wanted to go to England. So for some reason, I'm like interrogating people. You know, where are you from? I've never heard of that. Which part of England is that? And
I don't really know what you're getting over that, because that ain't fish and chips. Let me tell you.
Oh no! No.
I'm just messing it. It's not the most traditional of traditional fish and chips, but it is.
It's like American Chinese food. They just laugh at us.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Go to Chinatown if you want. I did see. Talking about the UK pavilion, I do like going to the Rose and Crown a lot. Right. And I went into the Marketplace Pavilion, where they sell the frozen nitro dipped steaming cake pops and lobster macaroni and cheese and all kinds of stuff. And they have a stage, brightly lit, really cool, big logo behind it, and a grand piano. And the lady who plays the hat lady, the piano lady, she's had a lot of names over the years, Carol. They have her featured in the middle of this big thing. And she's playing on a grand piano, not a little rinky-dink piano like in Rose and Crown that fits in the corner. And she looked happy as heck. So
it's those cast members that have been there for so long that are so entertaining. There's one cast member over at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Tower of Terror who's been there for years. Like, he's been there pretty much since the ride opened.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
And he's like he's always very sinister.
Yes.
Right? Dark hair.
That's why you really scream. I know.
And I know every time, look, it doesn't matter if I was there last year or the year before that. Mm-hmm. He's always there. He's always there. And that's what I love about the cast members who are there for years. And that's what always brings me back, because it's so bizarre that they employ thousands of people, but the ones who are still there, and they're still delivering the magic, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Faith, Hope, and Disney thinks Carol's amazing. She is. And Carol, I don't know if she officially is or not. You know, when we were with Disney, we both know they have people that they call Disney legends.
Right.
So I don't know if you qualify because people know you, or you've been there a long time, or you just call yourself a legend. I don't know how that happens, but I think Carol's a legend. I think Carl, the bartender at Rose and Crown, who's been there since I think Epcot opened, he definitely.
Yeehaw Bob over at Riverside.
And Bob definitely is.
Yeah.
And some of the people that do the tours that they're not running right now, like Keys to the Kingdom and stuff.
Right.
Those aren't even high-paying jobs, but they just love to be Disney geeks and just throw all this great information on people about Walt's life and laugh-o-grams and all this stuff. I couldn't believe how much stuff they knew.
Well, if you look at their name badges,
right,
the gold Mickey is if you've been there for 10 years,
right?
But if you have a blue badge, you are it's a legacy.
Legacy.
And you have to be nominated to be awarded that. So you can't be there for a certain amount of time. You have to sort of be acknowledged by your peers and show the commitment and do something special that awards you your blue badge. And I mean, I was working with, when I was a custodian, I was being trained by another custodian. He was from, I think he was from Venezuela or somewhere in South America. And he's just been at the Contemporary for years and delivering magic as a custodian, and he has his blue badge. And it doesn't matter if you're a custodian, an Imagineer, character attendant, food and beverage, doesn't matter. But it's incredible that everybody's the same.
I don't know. I'm sure you have stories. I have stories. Be they custodians, or people at desks, or people driving boats. Some of the incredible acts of kindness over the years. I remember one time, I mean, it's just little things that make the trips incredible. I was on Soarin'. I had just bought a $30 Disney baseball cap. I got on it, and I had it for some reason, I took it off and threw it in the thing under the seat. Then I went down, and they had a lot of people coming in, so they wouldn't let me just run back up. But they gave me a little slip of paper that said, no strings attached. Good for the purchase of any baseball cap in any of the Disney parks. And I'm thinking, some airhead leaves his baseball cap somewhere up there. Maybe they don't even know. And they just give me $30 to go get another hat. I was in tears. I was trying not to show everybody around me but I was tearing up. I was thinking, this is crazy nice. Nobody does this.
It's those small things. I remember I was with 4 friends in Magic Kingdom, and we go over to the Cheshire Cafe, the one next to the Mad Tea Party.
Yes, where they have the Cheshire tails, the crispy thing. Yeah.
Now, I'm pardon the pun, a sucker for slushies. I love slushies. I love them. And so I say to our friends, does everybody want a slushie? Like, let's go and grab them. So we go over to the counter and we're like, 5 slushies, please. And the cast member was really nice. She was like, oh, you're dressed very formally to come to the parks. I'm like, yeah, we just actually had our traditions class and we're now cast members. And we were in the park just, after the traditions class, just having a good time. And she goes, well, welcome to the company. Here are 5 slushies and 5 cattails on us.
Really?
5 each. That's at least $50-ish dollars.
I know.
More than that.
Oh,
and I'm like, jeez. That's at least like, I don't know, about $80-90 at least. I don't know.
When you were doing traditions, did they have you go on a scavenger hunt of any of the parks? They do that a lot.
They asked us to point out things. They asked us to, but not so much a scavenger hunt. We actually, did you get a pin, a traditions pin?
I didn't. I got a little graduation pin, which was Mickey with like a cap, a cap. I didn't get a traditions pin.
Okay.
No. What is that?
So, so this is a traditions pin. Hold on. So.
Oh wow.
So these aren't sold in the parks.
Right.
These aren't, and we weren't actually given these during our traditions class. We actually had to win it. And I was like, I have to win this. I have to. I don't care if I have to like push people over. I am getting that pin.
And so what did you do to win this pin?
Right. So it was trivia. Of course it was trivia. It's always Disney trivia. So the question was, it was a Marvel question. They said, right, Captain America's shield is made out of what metal? And as soon as they said Captain America's shield, I put my hand up straight away. They didn't even finish the question, and I had my hand up, and they were like, "Yes, sir," in the white shirt with the weird looking button. And I was like, "It's made out of vibranium," and they were like, "We hadn't even finished the question, but yes, it's right. It's the right answer." And everyone was looking at me like, "Who the heck are you?"
That's funny.
So I haven't even opened it since 2016. It's still in the plastic because
I'd probably leave it like that and just let it be mint.
yeah, it is mint, and yeah, it's pretty special. And I'm a big pin guy. I love my Disney pins, and this is something very special. So yeah.
Faith Open Disney says Disney is magical. I love how they empower the cast members to create magical moments for guests. Yeah, they do. Ask any cast member you bump into, and they will tell you that. And right now, there are a lot of people who are still on furlough from Disney. And I mean, not only do they take care of their people well, they take care of their people well who aren't even working right now. So all these people that aren't working, Disney is paying for all of their insurance benefits.
Wow, that's amazing.
And all of these other benefits that they have, which is like free virtual counseling and all this stuff, and free help with finances, and then they promise, that as soon as they can, they're going to bring you back into the family. So the way they think ahead, I've always loved that. I remember when Galaxy's Edge opened, there was a lot of guff and a lot of weird stuff online. There was actually one guy that said that, you know what, I don't like this virtual queue. I'd rather wait online for 10 hours like on the Harry Potter lines. And I was on YouTube, and I was like, I don't know if you've ever been on a 10-hour line, but I bet if there's anybody over at Harry Potter right now, they'd be very thankful, and they wish that they could use their phone like one of those hockey pucks at a restaurant that tells them when their spot is ready.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they are forward thinking, and I've always appreciated that. My father-in-law really got me into looking at Disney closely.
Yeah.
And I had never done that before. What he basically said was he thought Disney was special because it was in the details.
Right.
Details that no one would actually see, but cumulatively would add up and for an effect that made you feel good, but you'd never be able to point those things out.
Sure.
The little paw prints in the concrete, or the little, I always have found that amazing. All
the hidden references, and
yeah,
I love sharing that. And as much as it drives people crazy, especially my family and who don't get it, they like Disney, but if I bring up in a conversation, they're like, "Dan, enough." But I love those facts. I love those just totally obscure, totally bizarre facts that just fascinate me. And that's what Disney sort of does. It's all about those hidden stories. And I was listening to a podcast, and they said everything that Disney does, no matter where it's, like you said, laying down the concrete, or using a prop, or using agriculture for Animal Kingdom, whatever it is, everything has a story. Everything tells a story, which I'm so captivated by. I love everything they've done, and I've always made this comparison. Universal is an amusement park. You get amused by the rides, but Disney is a themed park. It's a themed park from top to bottom, from every dent to every minute detail. It is a themed experience.
I love Universal, the competition, but my wife is sitting in another room. She actually works for Disney at home right now for the Disney Reservation Center, right? And so I've sort of overheard a little bit about a few months ago, a lot of people were upset and they were canceling their annual passes. But now that people have come around and they're seeing, Disney's doing the best they can, they're trying to reinstate or buy new annual passes. And it really has come to roost with me that the people who like Disney, the fanatics like us and other people who aren't quite that fanatical, it really is a family. They're devoted to Disney. they're going to buy the merch and keep thinking about Disney and watching your movie reviews until things come back around.
Yeah.
And it would be like saying you're not my brother anymore because I haven't seen you for 2 years. No, they're coming back, and I think that's incredible. Actually, that really gets me amped up.
Disney, for me, is more than just a hobby. It's more than just watching a movie or going to the parks. It's practically my way of life. You know, looking around the room that I'm in right now, 95% of it is Disney related. Everything I listen to Disney music in the car. I'm constantly looking at Disney pins online on eBay on Disrupt Disney. I'm constantly trying to figure out, you know, I just everything in my mindset is Disney. I've got an endless Disney library. I just love, you know, I can rewatch the Mandalorian and Imagineering Story and Prop Culture and
oh yeah,
I could spend days sitting down watching Disney Plus and not watch anything else.
Yeah,
easy, and just finding out the history of the parks. I don't know if you know, but for my job, I'm actually a teacher. And
what do you teach?
So I mainly teach Latin, the ancient world, so mythology and the Greeks and the Romans and all of that has been about storytelling. And that's why I love Disney, because there's sort of that correlation of storytelling from the ancient world to stories that through fairy tale, and
right.
It's something very similar. And yeah, so it's just what I love, and I'll never lose sight of that, really. So, but yeah, it's got it's got everything you could possibly need. It's got Disney, it's got Pixar, it's got Marvel, it's got Star Wars, it's got Muppets. I mean, what more do you want?
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's incredible. A Latin teacher. I
Yeah.
took Latin. I remember I got a lot of flack for that it was a dead language and I should be taking Spanish.
I hear that every day of my life. I hear that.
And now I live in Central Florida, where a large section of the population is Spanish speaking, and I am struggling to speak Spanish and about to start learning it from Babbel. But I can tell you about roots from Latin.
Yeah.
It's not helping me currently.
Yeah. Well, Spanish I failed at school, but Latin, that's a completely different language. It's nothing like Spanish or French or anything, really. The closest thing is Italian. So
yeah. Wow, that is cool. That is very cool. I would love to the next time you come to Orlando, I got to get together with you. The way that you look at things and the kind of stuff that you like, that's how I am too.
We'll go and get some pizza over at Vienna.
Yeah, really. And I'm such a nostalgia guy. I mean, if you start talking about Walt and Disney nostalgia and how much I love the fact that he didn't give up and he persevered, regardless of how his father treated him when he was a little kid and how his employer stole his rabbit and he made it into a mouse and all the things that he came up with. I mean, quite an amazing man.
What I love is I tell people that, Walt failed. He nearly failed.
Yeah, he did.
He failed many times. And people often sort of get a bit perplexed by that. And I mean, before there was Disneyland, before there was really anything, he was on his last ropes. And then Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs hit, and that's where it all started. And but he had there was a lot of stuff that he struggled with, but he never lost sight of bringing people happiness and joy, and that's this whole idea of his belief. And he created Disneyland for his girls.
Right.
That's everyone's like, oh yeah, he created so adults and children can play together. Yeah, but he did it because he couldn't sit on the carousel with his daughters. That's the reason why he chose to do it.
Right.
I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible.
I see those pictures of they did a bunch of pictures with him right before his death, sitting on the bench that now has his name on a little plaque at Griffith Park in Los Angeles, and very interesting. So, what is your favorite attract? I know I've heard this. I've heard this
Yeah.
just recently on one of your videos, but overall, not like segmenting it into water parks and here and here. Overall, at Walt Disney World, what's your favorite attraction?
Like Walt, I'm a Haunted Mansion guy.
There you go. Me too. Me too.
There's something special about that attraction. Every detail, the creation, everything about it. I make it a rite of passage that I have to ride it at least 2 to 3 times a day. I do. I have to.
What he's talking about, Walt from
Mouse Talk.
Mouse Talk, and I was just talking to him last week, and we were comparing notes. Excuse me. And Walt from Mouse Talk was saying that he loves the part of Haunted Mansion where you come around the corner and there's like a hallway, and the voice is talking about chills, and there's a breeze, and there's a floating candelabra. My favorite part, that even before I could get to the parks, before my family, when I was growing up, there was only Disneyland on the West Coast. I lived on the East Coast. I would look at these little Viewmaster slides of the Haunted Mansion, and I would see pictures of the ballroom. And I was like, how did they do that? Daddy, we got to go here. We could never go. Then I started going here to Walt Disney World, and I can't get enough of, it's like the little kid's revenge. I can't get enough of seeing the ballroom. So do you have a particular part of that you like? I know one part that I don't like, that I wish they would change a little bit. I'm sure you know which one that is. The Constance Hatchaway attic thing. They improved it. It used to be sort of like, it was weird. It didn't fit anything else in there. It was sort of like a carnival section. And then they made it into the Constance Hatchaway thing, which is much more stylish and well done.
Yeah.
I think actually, I wish that they had the Hatbox Ghost on the other side, opposite her, about like halfway to her, just because I like the Hatbox Ghost.
I like the fact there's sort of a difference here over on the east coast, and then over on the west coast too.
Yeah.
I kid you not, I was terrified of the attraction when I was a kid. I never wanted to go in because I thought it was like the haunted house kind of attraction. But then when I tried it for the first time, I just fell in love. And the ballroom scene is a classic because you watch that scene and you are mind blown, and then you find out how it's done, and you're mind blown again. Like it's just
the ballroom.
The ballroom scene is just it's revolutionary. It's genius. It's just brilliant in every way.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you because I want to make sure that I got this, okay? Because I've only heard like rumors. So they tell me that it's based on an old magician's trick.
Yes.
And I guess underneath where you're traveling, because you're up and you're traveling on the tram, like underneath there, I guess you have things going on with actual physical figures, and then it's being reflected onto glass or scrims.
So
true. What is it?
I was fortunate.
Oh no!
Tour the mansion on my college program.
There you go. I knew you were going to say that.
I was specially invited to go. Now, if you don't want to know in the chat, then like close your ears. But so you know when you sort of go up a little bit after the Madame Leota in the head,
yes.
In the fishbowl.
Right.
You go slightly up and then you face and you see the ballroom down below.
Right.
Basically, right underneath you is figures with a mirror, but the figures, instead of standing up as a person would normally stand up, they're actually flipped.
Right.
And it's reflected.
Right.
So they're kind of like, I can't really explain it. Hold on. I'm gonna use golf tee. I'm gonna use golf tees, right?
Okay.
Imagine this is us, head at the top, right?
Right.
Feet at the bottom, right?
Right.
Underneath us, the figures are like this.
Oh.
So the feet are facing up and the head is facing down. and then it's reflected, so it looks like they're facing.
Right that out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very, very. It's an incredible trick.
It's got to be. It's because I've been trying to figure that out forever. Because you got people up top here, or ghosts up top, and then way down on the bottom. So it's got to be all kinds of.
So the ones on the top are just reflections, but standing up. But the ones that are reflecting on the floor that are dancing, they're all actually upside down.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
They tell me that on the keys, for anybody that's not a cast member and is interested in seeing that, I've gone back and forth because sometimes I don't want to see it ruin the magic, but I am interested. They tell me that when they start the tours again, the Keys to the Kingdom tour, which goes through Magic Kingdom, and it's only like $40 a person, but they don't let anybody younger than, I think it's like 16, 18, because they don't want to ruin the magic for the little kids.
Yeah, it's 16, I believe.
And they actually tag on a backstage thing for Haunted Mansion sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, depending on the tour and
right.
But it's worth doing. Obviously, I actually haven't done it, but I've been backstage on a few attractions, so. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Disney backstage is incredible.
Isn't that a 7-hour tour?
I think so.
Yeah, it's really.
I'll tell you what. When you work for the company,
yes,
Disney knows exactly where and who you are. I'll tell you what. So I probably shouldn't tell this story, but I'm going to anyway. So I worked at the Contemporary Bay Lake Tower, nowhere near Magic Kingdom. Well, it is close to Magic Kingdom, but I shouldn't be down in the utilidors. So I was heading my way to work.
The utilidors are the tunnels under Magic Kingdom that everybody and their brother wants to see.
Right. So I put on my lanyard with my ID. I was in Fantasyland. I go through one of those magic hidden doors that I'm not going to tell you where it is because obviously I don't want to ruin it. I go down the stairs and I make my way to Main Street and to exit through the park. Because trust me, it is so much quicker to go through the utilidors than going through the whole park. It just takes so much longer. But if you don't work in Magic Kingdom, you don't belong in the utilidors.
Right.
So I wasn't meant to be down there.
Okay, so 1 second. So what he's talking about, the utilidors, they're basically these like secret kind of tunnels, but it's because Walt didn't want Cinderella or the other characters or cast just tramping through the park, and they have their wig off as they're going to a character thing and everything. So they go through these tunnels to get right under the castle or whatever they work. So they kind of clear things out. So as he's saying, you shouldn't be a non-cast member. And then what happened?
You should be down there unless you're a cast member who works in Magic Kingdom.
Right.
So I walked past the Subway sandwich shop, which I have another story about that, maybe off stream. I passed genuinely, there is a Subway sandwich shop down there.
I didn't know that. I've been there.
Yeah. No, I am not kidding. There is a Subway sandwich. I've got another story. I'll tell you off stream. I pass the sandwich shop. I go all the way down, and I kind of get a little bit lost because it is a bit confusing down there. So I go up one of the staircases, and I exit outside, but still backstage. It's kind of like where the walkway is when you go for like the Christmas party and the Halloween party on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up there. There's no one there, and I look back because I hear a door and I see a guy wearing a suit, and he's not a security guy. He's like business. And they go. He says, "Excuse me." So I turn around. I go, "Hi," and they're like, "Oh, where are you off to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually heading out to go to work." And they're like, "Oh, really?" And they were like, "Yeah." So where do you work? I'm like, "Oh, at the Contemporary." And they go, "Okay, thank you for telling us, Dan." What? I didn't tell you my name was Dan. I never, I, I didn't have my name badge. I had my name badge on, but it didn't have my name on it.
Right.
My ID, like I had just to walk around the utilidors, but I never told him my name was Dan. And so I leave. And I'm like, how does this guy know?
They know.
They know. They absolutely know who everybody is. And like I didn't even like I went down into the utilidors, I came back up, the guy was behind me and said, "Have a good afternoon, Dan." It's weird.
Well, I was going to one of the parks and a friend was going to join me, and he was a cast member, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'll call out and then I'll meet you at Magic Kingdom and we'll go in." And I said, "They're going to know."
Yeah.
That you're in Magic Kingdom and you called out sick so you could go to the park. I don't think they'll be very pleased with that. And he's like, "No, they're not going to know." I'm like, haven't you ever been to a small world? You know, at the end, they know where the guests are, for crying out loud. They know where you are.
No. They know. Trust me, they know.
Which is good. Which is good. I like the fact that it's a secure, safe place. You ever see how many security cameras are inside of the plants as you go up the queue to Flight of Passage? There's like 14 of them.
Once you are a cast member, you see every single camera.
I know.
You do.
And then I guess they have a lot of Wi-Fi towers too, little speaker stubs and statues, all kinds of stuff. Wow.
Yeah. They're very good at blending things in.
Well, it was great talking to you, Dan. Let me ask you, I'm just thinking before I get off, everybody seems to have their own favorite merchandise they've bought over the years. Do you have a piece of merch that you really like a lot?
I have something special. It's not really a piece of merchandise. It's something very special. I don't know. You can't really see it on if I tilt my camera. So back there with this certificate. So that is a hand-drawn one-of-one sketch of Peter Pan, which was drawn by Disney artist, animator Graham Dennison. And he worked on Winnie the Pooh and Robin Hood and the Jungle Book and it's a one-of-one sketch of Peter Pan, and you won't find the same one. And you can't really see it from back there, but
I see some sort of certificate that looks like a certificate of authenticity or something.
Yeah, so there's a certificate of authenticity, and I just wanted to show that it was actually done by him. So we took photos of him actually drawing it, and it says on the certificate one of one, and you won't find a copy of that anywhere in the world. It's literally one of its kind, and I cherish it, and something very special. Peter Pan's my favorite character. There's a lot of meaning behind that, and it's very special to me.
That's cool. I know Walt was saying the other day he has some paintings that he got that were actually not prints. That one's right behind him when he does a lot of his vlogs, and he's real proud of that. When you come into my house, I've got the big plaque that's at Haunted Mansion at the gates when you go in, and I've got this one spotlight underlighting it kind of like in a spooky way. So that's my favorite one.
I need that.
Well, so when is your next broadcast? When is that going to? Probably tomorrow, right? Or tonight?
So my next broadcast will be Saturday, Disney Fiasco episode 107. Okay. I'm bringing back an old topic. It's called Disney Fact or Fiction. And Fact or Fiction is basically an episode where I have my guests compete to win points, and they have to decide whether the statements I say are fact or fiction. So if I said, for example, Cinderella Castle is made out of 18.3 billion bricks, and they say, "Oh, that's fact," I'm like, "No, it's fiction," so they don't get a point. But if they say, "Oh, no, that's fiction," then they get a point. And so that's kind of
they win or something, or how does that?
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights, guys.
But I haven't done this segment of Fiasco for at least about 90 episodes, so I'm bringing it back.
Wow.
So it's kind of fun to do these. So yeah, I'm planning it as we speak, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that on Saturday, 7 p.m. On Saturday. So I hope you guys come enjoy it. Come and enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
That sounds
and we're having
like
the
fun.
DePhilly crew on. DePhilly crew is one of the contestants.
DePhilly crew.
Yeah.
Those guys. Well, first, once I knew how to pronounce their name right, and then they've been. Did you say you did your Green Day video? You said it was in 2009, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
The DeFiley crew actually started doing short, because they only let you put up like 5-minute chunks. They actually started doing Disney videos back in like 2009, which is
I had a few videos from back then.
Did you?
A few. I had like one of Cinderella's Christmas carriage, one of walking down Main Street. They're all like literally a minute long, not even that.
Wow.
I had to put those up on there and bring back those memories.
Wow, that's terrific. All right, well, Disney Dan, thank you so much for coming on. I had a really great conversation with you. I'd like to have some more, and we'll stay in touch. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already to both of our channels, One Stop Mouse and Disney Dan. Hit that notification bell and like us like crazy because we're so likable. Got any last words, Dan?
No, just thank you once again. And I always say at the end of my videos, live your life with a smile each and every day. And especially in this time of stresses and things going on in the world, everybody needs to just put on that smile, do what makes you happy, and just at least smile once a day, and it'll make you feel 10 times better. So yeah, smile, be happy.
Obviously you listen to your own advice, and no, I mean it. That's one of the reasons that I do like to watch you, because when you're doing those movie reviews with Walt or whatever you're doing, you just like you can feel it. You just look like you're having a blast, and it's contagious. So thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Okay. All right. Well, see you real soon, guys. Signing off, and we will be doing an interview next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with the aforementioned, between the two of us, DeFiley crew. Take care, and we'll see you soon. And I'll talk to you for a second, Dan. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you later.